Hi everybody, Joe here with Tim Wallace Soil Mix Supply and the Soil Channel. If you're like me, you've got areas of your lawn that could use a little attention, a little repair. You've probably got areas that are thin, maybe you have bald spots or bare spots, unevenness. The grass is probably not as green as you'd like it to be, even though you've put down chemicals and tried everything you can imagine to make it better. So you get a little frustrated and you probably wonder to yourself, is there anything I can do to make this better? The answer is yes. I'm about to show you a way that you can repair your lawn with one product, naturally and without chemicals. Stay tuned. This is the area of my lawn that I just talked about. It's got some thin grass, some bare spots, certainly lumpy and bumpy. The grass isn't as green as I'd like it to be. But there are some other issues here that have to be addressed, and they're kind of unique to me, but let me tell you what they are. All along this area where this grass is, there's this concrete curb that separates the driveway from the sidewalk. This concrete curb actually affects the pH in the soil up close to where the curb is. As a matter of fact, it raises soil pH into the alkaline level or up above 7 to the point where the grass doesn't do as well as I'd really like it to do. So I'm going to have to put something down here that's going to help neutralize that and be a better base for the grass to actually grow. There was also all around this concrete curb boxwoods, in fact 32 boxwoods. Over years they had grown together to form a nice hedge. But winter burn and the fact that the salt from when we would plow the snow would kind of overwhelm those boxwoods, and eventually they had to be taken out. Now that was a job in and all of itself. In fact, I had to use an engine hoist to pull them up out of the ground. Once they were out, I had all these holes and all this stuff that needed to be fixed. What I did though is I put down topsoil, put down some grass seed and called it a day. I probably needed to do a little bit more, but that was a quick fix. Now I need to kind of permanently fix that particular problem. Another problem I have is in the center of this area, there once was a very big, very beautiful flowering crab tree. That tree just got old and had to be taken down. Once it was cut down, I had a tree company come over and grind out the stump. They did a good job. They got below the surface far enough that I was able to put a layer of topsoil over that and then reseed. You can see when you take a look at this picture here that that area of the lawn is actually greener than most other areas. That's because it had good quality topsoil, good quality grass seed put down, but also all that organic material that remains after that tree was taken out is now feeding my lawn. So all these issues create a situation where I too need to repair my lawn, and what I'm going to use for that is Tim's Lawn Repair Mix. The question always comes up, how much of a top dressing material do I really need? Well, let's go through those calculations. Now there is a calculation to find out the area of an ellipse or an oval, but my situation is a little unique. So rather than talking about that complicated calculation, let's just go ahead and take a look at this as if it were more of a rectangle. In a situation like that, we're just looking for something very, very simple. Length times width. In my situation, from side to side, the length is 55 feet. From the front of the sidewalk to the front of the curb, 36 feet. Calculating those two numbers together, I ended up finding out how many square feet we have. That answer, 1,980 square feet in this area. Our rule of thumb is you need 1.5 cubic yards of material for every 1,000 square feet of coverage. Therefore, 1.98 times 1.5 will give me an answer of 2.97 cubic yards. Again, that gives me a depth of 1/2 inch. So what we'll do in our situation, we'll order 3 yards of the Lawn Repair Mix. Lawn Repair Mix is one of the most popular blends that Tim has to offer. And the reason for that is quite simple. It simply works. You're able to repair your lawn naturally without chemicals using only one product. The components of Lawn Repair Mix: topsoil at 50%, 25% fine sand, and 25% Purple Cow Classic compost, each have their own beneficial characteristics for your lawn. In addition to adding some depth to your lawn and leveling out those low spots, topsoil adds organic material for your lawn. The microorganisms in the topsoil also help produce thatch. The fine sanded lawn repair mix helps to loosen soil compaction, improves porosity, and helps the lawn to retain moisture. And the Purple Cow Classic Compost adds all the right nutrients that your soil will need to grow green, thick, and tall. And because Lawn Repair Mix, like all of Tim's blends, are blended and not simply mixed, using a machine like this to pulverize your screener, you get a product that's thoroughly blended together, hard to distinguish where each one of the component products are. It's also very light, fluffy, airy, easy to spread, easy to work with, and easy to work into your soil. So here's my 3 yards of lawn repair mix. My co-workers, good friends, and all-around great guys, Adrian and Raphael, are going to give me a hand getting it out here onto the lawn. What you're going to see us doing is we're going to be using the wheelbarrows and maybe my little garden cart and creating what I'll call molehills all around this part of the yard. After we get those molehills put out, then we'll work on getting it spread and getting everything nice and leveled off. So let's get going. Now that the guys have all of the lawn repair mix spread into the little piles, it's time to actually do the spreading, and in the same time we're going to be lawn leveling. The best thing for that is a landscape rake like this. It's nice and wide. This one happens to be, I think, 34 inches across. By using this, we're able to get enough area where we're spreading everything quickly, but we're also keeping everything nice and level. So we're going to use landscape rakes and spread this throughout this area, level the lawn, and get it in where we need to go. All of Tim's soil mixes are actually blended, which gives you a really, really nice product. Again, this is lawn repair mix. And if you take a look at this blend, it's got 50% topsoil, 25% fine sand, and 25% Purple Cow Classic compost. And wow, you can see this stuff, nice, light, fluffy. The difference is when you blend a mix like this is going to be great, especially for leveling the lawn. We're going to have no problems at all pushing it around the lawn to get it nice and level. Not to mention that this mix itself is really going to help the lawn. Here's our 3 yards of lawn repair mix set out in all these little piles all over the yard. Now all we have to do is grab the landscape rakes and start spreading everything out. This will provide the ability to level the lawn and also work it into the soil. Well, the lawn repair mix is down on the lawn thanks to these two guys. So Adrian, thank you very much. Raphael, thank you very much. Great guys, and I'll show you the good work they did in just a minute. So this is what your lawn should look like after it's been top dressed. Whether you're using top dressing mix, sand and topsoil, or lawn repair mix as we did here, you should still be able to see grass showing up through your stuff that you put down on the lawn. We don't want to choke out the good grass that's here. Now I could actually stop and not do anything more. This lawn repair mix is going to work wonders on the grass that's here, but I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to overseed this area with pre-germinated grass seed. The pre-germination gives me a kickstart in getting the grass germinated prior to it getting into the lawn. And being late in the season, that's a good thing to do. So now that this is all set to go, I'm going to get my grass seed germinated and get it out here on the lawn. You've heard that old saying, it's about as much fun as watching paint dry or watching grass grow. That being the case, I decided to not overburden you with seeing every single day of the progress out here on our lawn repair project. So I waited now until day 14 2 full weeks since we put the product down to give you our probably final look at our lawn repair project. Now, all those areas I wanted to address by repairing this lawn, check every one of those boxes off. Remember, I said I had some low spots that had to be leveled out. Now, none of the low spots were really all that low, but it's much better right now. A little word of advice: if you've got some really bad ruts or holes in your lawn, use something like topsoil first to fill that area in, and then use your lawn repair mix as something like a top dressing. Again, that box has been checked off. Thin grass, wow, the grass has thickened up quite a bit and certainly went from brown to much, much greener. And that last issue I had with trying to get grass to grow, the grass seed I put down is coming in extremely well, and it'll continue to fill in over the next couple days or even weeks. Now, I have, in fact, been able to mow the lawn twice since I put this down, and that was always my goal, to make sure I can get the lawn mowed at least twice before the frost really sets in and puts everything into dormancy. But before I go, let me give you a couple things that you need to keep in mind to make sure that when you do your lawn repair project, that you get the same great results that I had.
Whether you have an overabundance of weeds in your lawn or just a few, they need to be addressed before you do anything with the lawn repair. If you have a lot of weeds like this, the easiest way to deal with it is probably with a sprayer at the end of your garden hose or a pump sprayer that will allow you to do a wide area quickly and efficiently. And it goes without saying, but please follow the manufacturer's guidelines for how and when to go ahead and treat the weeds. Remember that if you're going to do a large area like this and you're going to be using the hose end or the pump sprayer over a large area, you're probably going to have to do some planning, because you're going to want to have the weed killer on the lawn to take care of those weeds, have them killed at least 3, maybe 4 weeks before you decide to put down the lawn repair mix and then overseed. Since many of these weed killer products have a pre-emergent characteristic, in other words, they take care of weeds before they pop up, that's especially important to do your planning, because the pre-emergent weed killer will also affect the ability of your grass seed to germinate. So again, you're going to want to do some planning. Take a look at what the manufacturer's recommendations are for how long to wait once you apply the weed killer before you plant grass, and follow those instructions. And for those who only have a few weeds in their lawn, we still have to address those before we do our lawn repair. You can go ahead and pull them out by hand or with a tool. Just keep in mind that you may not be getting down to the root. A better approach may be using a spray. Make sure you're using a spray that's good for weeds in the lawn. There are weed and grass killers out there, and if you use that in your lawn, you will certainly kill weeds and your lawn. And again, you want to keep as much of the grass up and in good shape as possible. Another popular option, what most homeowners are familiar with, are using granular products to treat weeds. These things work pretty darn well, but again, if you take a close look at the manufacturer's recommendations and guidelines, it tells you to apply when the grass is wet. The granules must stick to the leaves of the weeds in order for them to die out. So you're either going to have to water your lawn before you put on the granular product, or wait until right after a rain. Either way works great, but you want to make sure that you've got a wet grass before you go ahead and use a granular product. And lastly, don't be surprised if you see a few stray weeds pop up in your now very, very fertile soil. Go ahead and just pull them out by hand or spot treat them as you need to. After you get your grass to grow to the depth you want it to be, then go back to your regular weed care routine. Before you put the lawn repair mix down, you're going to want to mow the grass. You want to keep it between 2 to 3 inches. That'll make it much easier to know when you've got a consistent, even depth of your lawn repair mix, even if you have low spots throughout your lawn. So mow your lawn first, but not too short. You don't want to choke out the existing grass. And this next step is critical. Get it out. Either rake or dethatch all that old dead grass that's separating the grass itself from the underlying soil. The reason your chemical fertilizers probably haven't been giving you the result that you've been looking for is the thatch is blocking the chemicals from working its way into the soil or absorbing those chemicals and not getting it down to the grass. You can see that even a small area like this develops an awful lot of thatch. Getting that thatch out prior to using your lawn repair mix is going to help a lot in giving you the kind of result that you're looking for. Improving the aeration in your lawn is a very, very helpful step. Now, I decided just to do spike aeration in this area since it wasn't very large. You can, however, use a core aerator machine. Makes the job go a lot faster and it's certainly a lot easier. Aeration does a few great things for your lawn. First of all, it will help reduce that thatch problem you had, although raking or using the dethatching machine is still one of the best ways to go. But by having these new penetrations into your soil, you'll allow air, water, and your lawn repair mix to work its way down into the soil. Now, because I spike aerated, I had no cores or plugs to deal with. Those plugs may look a little funny, but they'll deteriorate into your lawn just fine. If you're worried about them and they get in your way if you're doing your lawn repair and you're trying to level your lawn, simply run the lawnmower over the area one more time. The vacuum action from the lawnmower will pull up those cores, break them up, and put them back down into the lawn, and it's going to be beneficial all around. When it comes to applying the product to the lawn, you have a few options. You can do like we did and mound the product across the lawn, and then go ahead and spread it with your landscape rake. Sometimes it's simply just as easy to go ahead and broadcast it or throw it from the wheelbarrow out into the lawn. But regardless of how you get the product out onto the lawn, make sure that you're not putting it down too heavy. You don't want to choke out the existing grass. And again, regardless of how you're putting it down, make sure you work the product well into the soil. And lastly, it's important that you water regularly. In order for the lawn repair mix to work its magic on your lawn, it has to work its way down into the soil. And the way that happens is with water. By watering once or twice a day, you ensure that the grass starts to green back up again. And especially if you've overseeded, you want to make sure your grass germinates and then begins to grow. Once you get your grass to the length you want, you can cut back on your watering regimen.
Well, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this video more than, well, watching grass grow. We addressed and answered the question, how do I repair my lawn? Well, when your lawn is in need of repair, don't despair. Just use Tim's lawn repair mix and follow these 3 easy steps. Do the right prep work, use the right product, and perform the right application. And you can use one product, again, naturally without chemicals, to repair your lawn just like I did. Hey, before you go, be sure to click on that subscribe button to stay current with all of our future Soil Channel videos. You can find us on Facebook at Tim Wallace Soil Mix and on the web at timwallacesoilmixsupply.com.
On the website, you're able to see all the different soil blends we have for the lawn, the garden, planting areas, and even golf courses. Also, you'll be able to see what component products we put into each mix, information about those products, and the ratios of every one of our mixes. Under About Us, be sure to check out our blog posts. Great information about caring for the lawn and the garden.
Doesn't your lawn or garden deserve the very best? When you want the best mix for the best result, it's Tim Wallace Soil Mix Supply. On behalf of Tim, I'm Joe. Thanks for watching. Now grow and make it a great day.